Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at the Benton ShellRaiser Roof Box. This is going to be a small compact box that just gives you a little bit of extra room on your Jeep. We're taking a look at it on our 2024 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. If you have other things loaded on your Jeep, maybe you have a kayak or some bike racks, but you also want to get a little bit of extra cargo space without spending too much, that's where the Benton ShellRaiser comes in handy. It's going to be a very easy to store when not on your Jeep, very easy to just throw on there, and that way you can expand your cargo capacity while still having space for other things. Now, this is going to be, with it being on the smaller side, you are going to have to consider certain things when you look at the roof rack on your Jeep Wrangler. First, check your crossbar spread. Crossbar spread is the distance from one bar to the other. Since the box is on the short side, make sure that your bars are no further apart than 29 inches. In fact, our crossbar spread today is 27 inches, and I found that to be a really good fit for our box. If you have a roof rack that attaches to the gutters, the good news is you can slide that roof rack around to where you need it to be. And again, if you can shoot for 27 inches, that will be helpful. And for those worried about garage clearances, this box is going to sit 16 inches tall. So measure from your crossbar, go up about 16 inches, and that will help you figure out if you're still able to exit or enter your garage with the door open. Another thing with boxes is where do you store them when they're not on your Jeep? With this being on the smaller side, this is going to be very easy to store inside your shelving or in the corner of your garage. As for the amount of space you have inside the box, you have 8 cubic feet to work with. You can also double check our measurements on our website to compare them with the measurements of your cargo to see if it fits. For me, this is about enough space for my carry-on bag as well as like a personal item, maybe some totes, things like that. So while it's not as large of a box as you would find for something that's dedicated for carrying skis or really large roof box, this is helpful for just a little extra cargo space. Plus with it being enclosed, that's going to make a bit more sense for things you may want a little bit more protected. With pretty much any roof box or roof mounted accessory on your Jeep though, it may get a little tricky to reach in there in order to close the lid, load cargo up, things like that. So I recommend taking a look at the Right Line Gear Moki doorstep. That's what I use a lot on the Jeep. Gets me a good amount of height. An alternative too is you could also step on your wheel. Just make sure you don't get stuck in the wheel well. And that will also make it easier to get the clamps secured inside the box. This is technically a dual access box, although you'll really be able to utilize that dual access if it was closer in towards the center of your roof rack. But that way you can reach the clamps more easily. If you have things on your passenger side and you're loading the box up, you can move it to the driver's side and still fully utilize it. Now note here that when the lid is in the open position, this will take about 5 inches more on the side compared to the regular width of the box. So for example, on our 65-inch long crossbars, if I measure towards the end of that lid out, I have about 35.5 inches or almost 36 inches or 3 feet left of space for all my other cargo. This is a really good picture of how much more space you can still have on your roof rack for all those fun things. So all in all, if you need an affordable and compact roof box, that's where the Benton ShellRaiser can come in handy. It really is ideal for those smaller items. I personally would keep it loaded up with all my cargo in the garage, and that way for those different weekend adventures, I could just throw the whole thing onto the Jeep and my kayak and we are ready to go. If you need more space, we definitely have options for you. One recommendation is the open basket, the Yakima Skinny Warrior. Takes about the same amount of width that the Benton ShellRaiser has, but has a lot more length for those larger items. That one is not gonna be enclosed though, so while it is the same-ish price point, you do have more exposure to the elements of your items compared to the Benton ShellRaiser, where everything is nice and protected. Check out all the details and information here on our website if you're curious about that. But what you saw here today was the Benton ShellRaiser rooftop cargo box on 2024 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.